What's up? Welcome, Still a Nation. What is happening? I know you guys have heavy hearts right now, but hey, we still gonna try to have a great show. What's happening, Still a Nation? Welcome to the latest episode of the Terrible Towel post-game show. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Still Basement, aka the virtual Heinz Field. Long faces, right? Heavy hearts, right? Not for me. Not so much. We'll get into it. Let me do what I always do, and let's say hello to some of the early commenters. And then I'm going to give you guys a quick position of mine. I might repeat this position throughout the show because I know everyone is not here in the beginning. But I might take a slightly different route to this show. Instead of doing all of the drives, what's really the point for this particular game? But nonetheless, let's say what's up to Haas Jaffer, Rajon 39, Miss Lanisha. How you doing, Miss Lanisha? Thank you for tuning in, hanging out with the boys tonight. We definitely appreciate that. Yup is in the building. Brian Legaretta. Am I saying that correctly? Lagoon Tours Bahamas, Ed K, Shadow Slayer, Dietrich Bundick. Who else we got in here? Jim Emmon, DC TV, Brother Mark 1992, Leonard G is in the building, Wave Dave, Jerry Dixon. I'm looking to scroll fast because some of y'all have been in here. Football Mind 02, Joshua Shields, Sonic and Pokemon, JJ Walker. Who else? My man Marlon Nicholson, MT Mooch, Knight Rider, Rail Facts, Wide Diggy, good brother Wide Diggy, extended family member along with Lanisha. Gotta always shout them out specifically. Who else we got? Keen Go Crazy Gaming, El Capo, excuse me. The real Missy. Hello, Miss Lady. How you doing this evening? Really appreciate you hanging out with the boys. We definitely appreciate that, as well as Sade. Miss Sade in the building. Appreciate you as well coming and hanging out with the boys. Thank you for that. But let me get right to it, guys. I don't want to go too crazy, off path tonight. Let's jump right in. All right. First and foremost, two things I want to do before we get started. First, I want to say happy holidays to everyone. I hope you guys had a lovely Christmas. So for those of you who celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. Hope your Christmas was well. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a great time with your family. Whatever you celebrate, I hope your holiday was good. And then, of course, we got New Year coming as well. So, we'll get to that later on in the week. I apologize, guys, that I didn't do a pregame show. I mean, I just couldn't. I just couldn't. My weekend got a little too crazy, man. I just didn't have an opportunity. Obviously, yesterday being Christmas Day, I just wasn't going to take time out to do Still a Business. I spent the entire time with my family. So there you have it. And one other thing I want to get to. I'm going to do a quick brief moment of silence. Let me pause the music here. I'm going to do a moment of silence, man, for Presley Harvin. For you guys that may or may not know, you guys know, I think it was last week, if I'm not mistaken, that his father was at the game. The picture out there of Mike Tomlin, talking to the family, and I think his dad wanted to come to a game. We learned that his father had a terminal illness, so it was kind of time of the essence to get him to the game. And we found out that his father did pass away yesterday morning, so on Christmas morning. Man, my heart goes out to the family, to Presley, the Harvin family, period, siblings, wife, whoever else in the family that will be affected by the loss. A tough time to lose someone, not only around the holidays, but on that day. I can only imagine what he feels. Excuse me. You guys know, how I'm still going through, the loss of my mother last year, to COVID complications. We lost her on November 17th. So Thanksgiving and Christmas last year obviously was really fresh, but even this year, it just hasn't, it's not the same for me. I'm still dealing with that. I'm probably going to deal with it for a long time. But, man, on Christmas morning, and this guy, and I don't think age matters. You used to think that when you were young. Oh, if I'm a little older, maybe I'll feel better about. No, that doesn't matter. But I do think about Presley, how young he is. So for him to lose his father, heart goes out to him, but I'm going to give him a moment of silence starting right about now. Rest in peace to Mr. Harvin, and big prayers go out to him and his family, man. I know they're struggling. So, yeah, I know what he's going through, unfortunately. So, all right, guys, let's get into it, man. Listen, like I said, I'm not going to read all of the drive. There's no point. I got some stuff I really want to get off my chest tonight, man. I'm going to take a slightly different approach with you guys, with Steeler Nation. Well, let's get to it, man. Of course, I'm going to talk about really quick the inactives. Buddy Johnson, Chris Wormley, Haskins, Harvin, obviously, Fryermuth, this other punter that I believe we had, as a backup to the backup. I don't know how to say his last name, Nazialik or whatever. I don't know him. So he was inactive, as well as Bush and a few others. I forget who else was on the COVID list. I know Bush was. So there you go. Those are a couple people that did not play in this game. Yeah. We have a donation. I saw it pop up. That's what paused me for a moment. Oh, man. Round of applause to Wave Dave. Round of applause, man, for becoming a member of the extended family. So let's throw a round of applause his way. Really appreciate that, Wave Dave. Thank you for that. I will have custom content coming you guys' way. I actually will ask you guys. Let me ask you guys, because I know a lot of times I'm a little bit behind because of when I get the All-22. Christmas kind of interfered with me putting it out earlier this week. So I'll ask you guys who are members of the extended family, would you prefer to see the last week's All-22, or would you prefer to see this week? Because actually, if I remember correctly, hold on, let me double check. I think the last one that I put up was, give me 2 seconds, guys. The last one that I posted was the Vikings. So you guys can let me know whether y'all prefer to see the Titans or this game. And if you want to see the Chiefs All-22, it will come out later this week. So you guys will let me know. Maybe I'll ask that question at the end later on in the show. Round of applause to, who was it again? Del Monte Green Beans for the donation. Wow. There go Donald saying the whole coaching staff is garbage. Let's see. He said, it's your turn now when it comes to hardship. I'm confused by what you're saying. You says it's your turn now with a question. You said when it comes to hardship question, and you put moms. I might be missing something, Del Monte. I'm not sure exactly what you're asking there. Confused. Can you clarify that? I'm not sure. I apologize, but not understanding where you're getting at with that. So maybe my mind is just not connecting. So if you could further explain what you mean with those two questions. But thank you for the donation, either way you want to call it. All right, let's talk about the game, guys. So, and I'm going to peek over here at the chat to see kind of what Damani was referring to. I'm not really sure what he's referring to there, but hopefully you can explain it. Oh, we got another donation that came in. Round of applause to Shadow Slayer. Appreciate it. Shadow Slayer says, Sim, I'm not surprised they lost. As a diehard Steelers fan, they are just not good enough to win in the playoffs. And I wouldn't be shocked if they lose the rest of the way. We can't stop the run. The offense is not good enough. This is exactly what I've been saying, Shadow Slayer. You guys that watch me every week, this is what I've been saying. You know what I mean? This is it. So it's no surprise there, but thank you for the donation. Oh, we got another one for Del Monte, man. Appreciate that, Del Monte. Round of applause. You says, it's your turn to take up the leadership of the family now. That's the lesson. Okay. I guess. I will accept that. I am the leader of my in-house family, but my father is still here with us. So my father is the leader of that immediate unit, being, my sibling, my mother, my father. So, but I think I get where you're coming from now. So thank you for clarifying that. So appreciate it. But all right, guys, let's get into it, man. Listen, I'm only going to talk about a few things, really. I'm going to really skim through my documentation that I normally note everything during the game because it's not important. I want to get right in tonight because I don't want to sit here all night talking about this. It's really nothing to talk about here. That's a lot to talk about, but for sake of argument, this is nothing to talk about. We all saw the game. First offensive series, there was a toss out to Najee, a loss of 2 yards. Steelers facing a 2nd and 12. Ben finds Deontay Johnson for an acrobatic catch against tight coverage. The very next play, Najee is stopped for no gain. Then out of the empty set, Ben has a lot of protection, but unable to find anyone. Facing a 3rd and 10, Ben gets sacked by Frank Clark. Steelers are forced to punt. And I did notate here that Corliss Waitman actually got off a solid punt. He actually looked good on his first punt. Got to say that. First defensive series, the Steelers they stuffed the run on first down. It was a loss of 1 on first down. The Steelers hold the Chiefs to just 3 yards on the next run, brings up a 3rd and 7. Chiefs was able to convert with a pass to Tyreek Hill. Chiefs moving the ball with ease. This is what I notated. Joe Hayden gets beat in off coverage to give up a first down to Tyreek Hill. Again, I'm not completely blaming Joe Hayden. I'm blaming the off coverage. Now, comma but, it's Tyreek Hill. Usually the best way to combat speed is not playing so tight, right? So there's going to be that give or take. Sometimes you're going to give up 6 or 7 yards off the rip because you don't want to get beat deep. I get that in a normal scenario, but the reason why I have to bring this out, and again, there are certain things that I blame coaches for, right? Hold on. I'll get back to my point in just a second. You guys that donate, I interrupt myself for your comments. We just got 2 donations. Let's do it. Round of applause to C.T. Pittman first. Then there's also a round of applause to Rajan39. So I don't know why I said first. Let's just give both of y'all the same round of applause. Thank you, gentlemen. CT says, I'm taking the glass half full approach. Remember when Kansas City O-line was a lot of rookies? Now look at them. These are growing pains we got to endure. C.T. Pittman, boy, I wish, you know what? I'm going to copy and paste this. Oh, man, I wish you would have said this a little later because I'm going there. I'm going to go there tonight. I just copy and paste what you wrote there, and I'm putting it down here at the bottom of my notes because I want to come back and address this. But let me just say that I do agree with you, sir, and I will elaborate that when I get there. But I definitely agree with that. Thank you. Rajan39 says Tomlin 7 shouldn't have thrown that interception and fumbled 18. All Tomlin, he's all over the field. What? I don't know if you being serious or throwing sarcasm, Rajan, but yeah, he says Tomlin, and he puts a 7, shouldn't have thrown that interception and fumbled number 18. Then he puts all Tomlin. he's all over the field. So again, I don't know if Rajon is being, throwing sarcasm, or if that's his real thoughts, because I've seen Rajon go both ways. So I'm gonna let him explain that. But needless to say, man, thank you for the donation, man. Here y'all go ringing it up tonight. Here's another one for Del Monte Green. That's your third donation, but who's keeping count? Round of applause. He says, I'm a Chiefs fan, but it's only a matter of time when it comes to the Steelers as the big picture in the future. Yeah, man, you put a question mark there, so I think you're saying, what is the big picture? It's kind of what I've been saying this whole season. If I can be brief here, the Steelers are rebuilding, man, and that's going to kind of be what I'm going to say here at the end of the show to round this thing up. The Steelers fans just have to face the facts. Blame whoever you want to blame, because like I said, I'm not here to disagree. Not disagree. I'm not here to debate someone's opinion. We can disagree, and I'll just leave it at that, because what you think is what you think. Whether it's coaching staff, player, yada, yada, yada. I will give you guys my opinion, but y'all will not hear me battle or debate your opinion. That's long gone, because I realize that some people are just stuck in what they believe. Some people watch the game differently. Some people only watch highlights. Some people only look at the stats. A multitude of different things. Some people doesn't have the same level of football acumen or knowledge or what have you. They're not looking at the entire field. So I'm going to respect that. I'll just give you my opinion, because I'm assuming that's why you guys tune in to hear it. But big picture, man, the Steelers are rebuilding. It is what it is. The proof is in the roster, and we'll get to it here. Man, we got another donation, man. Keen Go Crazy Gaming. Round of applause. Thank you. This is a good one. This is a good conversation, and I'm sure we'll be continuing to have this. He says, Canada got to go. 5 straight games with no first half touchdown. No excuse, regardless of the line, Ben, and etc. King Go Crazy. Listen, like I said, I'm not here to debate your opinion, so I don't want you to change your opinion. I'm just going to respond. I don't think it's fair to say, regardless of the line, Ben, and etc. I have to ask, how can Matt Canada be successful if the line, Ben, and etc. are not doing what they're supposed to? I'm just throwing an option out there. Where I will side with you as far as Canada is, I think it's easy for us to say maybe he's not doing some of the right things. I'm actually calling him into the office tonight, so you'll hear that in a moment. But I couldn't say that and say, regardless of the line play, Ben Roethlisberger, and etc. Nah, I don't know if I can agree with that, but I understand your sentiment, and I will say this. I don't think he needs to go. The jury is still out, in my opinion, just me, until we see him with a different quarterback. Then we all will be able to very much so judge Matt Canada as a whole. Man, here's another one. I'm not complaining. Round of applause, man. Q with the donation. You guys, boy, y'all doing it tonight. It's y'all's show. Thank y'all. I like this, Q. Q says, front office clearly failed this team, expecting players who have no resume to step up is ridiculous. I like where you're going with that, Q. We all could probably say that as well about the quarterback room. No real succession plan, right? Can't disagree with you there. There's multiple facets of why the Steelers, in my opinion, are not successful right now, but we'll get to it. So let me continue, man, in my notes, because I want to get to the meat of my point here tonight. I think you guys will enjoy the somewhat of the conversation that I'm going to throw at you guys. So, again, Joe Hayden gets beat in the off coverage, and again, just the off coverage philosophy, I've never really liked that so much with the way the Steelers do it. I feel like we give up too much room. I'm not asking the press. I just feel like there's times where we just give too much space. And it caught us again right there. And again, you're going to respect speed of Tyreek Hill. I get it. But then the Steelers were faced with a 3rd and 11 from the 13. Cam Hayward jumps off sides. Hey, man. Y'all are going to be surprised by this, but I have to do it. Cam Hayward, come in the office. I need you to come in the office for just a second. Just a second. Just a second. Cam Hayward, this is a place that you're not familiar with being in. And I don't suspect that you'll ever be back in this office. First of all, let me say congratulations for making the Pro Bowl. You have been the catalyst for this defense. You have been it. Sure, T.J. Watt deserves the accolades. T.J. Watt as a whole may be the better defensive player this season. You know, if you look at the statistics, quote unquote, and his impact. Yes, not taking anything away from T.J. I think Minka has been a very solid player as well. But if we're talking about the catalyst, the captain, which you are, the man that shows that he's playing hard every single play, every single down, the man even late in the game when Kansas City gets another touchdown and you run from the line and you're the one that tackles the guy into the end zone, that's hustle, 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 hustle. So I have no beef with you, Mr. Hayward. You have become one of my favorite players of all time. All time. I've said that on this show. I love what Cam Hayward does. But Cam Hayward, I got to call you in the office just really quick for one minor thing. What's up with these offsides, Cam? You're too much of a veteran, man. Because you've done it like 4 times this season. 3 that I remember since I started paying attention. And I think it's been consecutive games too. Come on, Cam. But I know you're trying to get a jump on it. I'm just saying that's not what you normally do. I'm going to chalk it up to this. Maybe you're trying to overcompensate because you're really the only man on the front that's doing much. And I'm talking about interior, and you're really the only one. TJ and Highsmith on the outside, but you have really had to do a lot of this on your own. So. But I got to do it. I got to do it. You got to be able to criticize the stars too. So Cam, you got to get them offsides under control, brother. But anyway, you my guy. You're my guy. We got another donation, guys. Round of applause to Sade. Hey, Sade with the donation. Appreciate you, Miss Lady. Sade says, Green stays in Ben's lap. I wasn't upset with this loss. What did we expect? Good question, right? Good question, right, Sade? We just aren't a good team. 8-1, players have to execute, not on Tomlin. Okay? I can't wait to see the conversation in the chat based off of Sade's comment because, like I told y'all, I'm not even doing the Tomlin thing anymore. I'm just going to allow y'all to debate that. Because like I said, head coaches get way too much credit, in my opinion, at times. And then head coaches get way too much blame, in my opinion, at times. And I think what how people view what's on and what's not on the coach is so different. So that's why I've learned how to just step back because I know I watched the game. I'm not even trying to toot my horn or anything. I'm just being honest. I probably watched the game different than probably 70% of the fan base. I'm just being honest. You could tell that by comments. There ain't a whole lot of people that watch the game the way I do. I know that for a fact. And I ain't got to just say me. I can even say it about my brother Kenyon and Tony. But you know how y'all love when Kenyon comes down in the show and breaks everything down and everybody don't watch the game like we do. So it's easier for us to kind of say, this is coaching, this isn't coaching. Everybody's opinion is different. That's why I said I will not debate that anymore. I will not. But, yeah. Just like I saw people saying, and actually me and Leonard was actually debating this a little bit during the game. Now people saying, oh, the Steelers should have never got rid of Ingram. I'm like, oh, wait. So y'all don't realize that Ingram forced his way out. He requested to be traded. Why? Because his snap count wasn't as high. Why? Because they're trying to groom Highsmith. They brought Ingram in as depth. Should have known that. I mean, I wasn't in the office, but I'm pretty sure that they didn't tell Ingram that he was starting. Remember when Ingram played for us the very first time, he wasn't starting. So, and in fact, Ingram was quoted as saying that I'm better than Highsmith. So, I ain't faulting Ingram, but again, that's letting you know what type of time he was on. So you can't blame the Steelers for that. They went and got him. So how you gonna blame the same team that made the move to go get him and blame them to say, oh, they didn't want him? That don't make sense. But like I said, everybody doesn't watch the minutia and all of that. I get it. But all right, let's get to it. What else we got? All right. So Cam Hayward jumps off sides. Chiefs pick up 5 yards, brings up a 4th and 1. Chiefs were able to convert. Spillane and Highsmith meet. They had a meeting at Edwards-Helaire in the backfield. He breaks the tackle, and he scores. Poor tackling by those two individuals. Round of applause, man. We got another donation from Andre Romero. Appreciate it. Andre, I think this one is going to give you some pushback as well. I love seeing how you guys go back and forth in the comments. He says, line was trash. Ben has to rush throws. Not his fault. Okay. Can't disagree with the line not playing well. Cannot disagree with that. But I think there's going to be an interesting debate between you and others about whether or not you can blame Ben for any of the game. But keep an eye on that because we're going to get to it. Oh, I forgot to cut the music back on. I just remembered. Some of y'all like the music. All right, let's get to the next thing. So, like I said, I'm going to bounce around, man. I'm not going to read each and every possession like I normally do because I really want to get right to the discussion that I want to get to because I want this to be more of a discussion show tonight, right? Sade. Look at Sade, man. Thank you. Round of applause for becoming a new member of their channel. Welcome to the extended family. Y'all show so much love, man. I really appreciate y'all. And I am going to ask that question again at the end of the show, as far as what footage you guys want to see. All right, let me bounce around here. Key moments. Second drive. Ben Roethlisberger throws an interception. That was a bad throw. Regardless of what you feel about Ben, whether you hate or love him, whether you think it wasn't his fault, it was his fault, that was a bad throw. It was an interception. Ain't nothing you can say about that. It was what it was. Third drive. Let's see. Was anything I needed to talk about there? No, nothing important. Oh, yes, it is something important. Usually, I'm upset when Ben takes a shot. But I'm also upset when we throw short of the sticks. And that could be a combination of Ben and route combination. I won't know for sure until I watch the film. So I'm not going to overreact. I'm not going to blame Ben. I'm not going to blame Canada specifically on that situation. But when the film comes out, I might have a different opinion. Remember, this was a 3rd and 4, third drive. We throw short of the sticks, and we don't pick it up. At this point, guys, Kansas City, we hold them to a field goal. Right after that, it's 17-0. Fourth drive. Najee rips a sizable run on first down. Offensive line gets pushed on 2 consecutive runs. I say, okay. Ben finds Claypool in the middle of the field on a 3rd and 8. Finds Claypool to convert another first down with the RPO, but still is unable to convert on a 3rd down, and we're forced to settle for a field goal. And Boswell missed it. It was interesting, though, when you watch the footage. Remember when they showed the replay of that screen on that drive? And Romo said, oh, Ben threw it to the wrong side. Listen, it looks like he might have had a 2-way go, obviously. But what's interesting is you saw most of the offensive linemen blocking to the left. I cannot wait to watch that play in particular. And the reason why that's important, remember why I'm saying this, guys. What have I been saying about Ben Roethlisberger most of the season? Ben has a lot of predetermined targets. Part of that could be his trust in the offensive line. I will acknowledge that. I will. But there's been quite a few times that we've come in after watching film or after the show, after the game, and we can say, man, if Ben could have just looked this way. It doesn't seem like Ben goes through progressions as often. Now, again, you got a screen this way, a screen that way. It ain't no real progression. They sending a blitz. But I tend to lean on the side where the offensive linemen seem to be blocking the most. That seems like more of the play side. We'll watch film, but that's interesting. So I notated that. Let's see. Is there anything else, guys, I really need to get to here? Minka has some pretty decent over-the-top coverage on one of those. It was a 3rd and 6 when the Steelers forced the 3 and out in the second half. Norwood was chasing underneath. Norwood was beat. 7th drive, Deontay Johnson fumbles. And that spawns the very next office visit. Deontay, I need you to come in this office and come in the office right now, please. Listen, Deontay, I'm not going to say that would have affected the game at all. Probably not. But you cannot fumble the ball in that situation. That was a no-contact fumble. And Deontay, the reason why you're in the office and the reason why I have to say this again, this is something that I say about you. I've been saying this. I have argued for you and defended you by saying that you are a number 1 receiver. And I think you are. Some of us feel like you got snubbed for the Pro Bowl. Yeah. But there's 2, well, not even 2, because I lumped them into 1. Your biggest issue, sir, is ball security. Whether that's catching the ball or fumbling the ball. And the crazy thing is, you did both in this game, because I also have a note here. Another reason why you're in the office is because of that wide open drop you had in the 3rd quarter. Deontay, you are a phenomenal talent, a phenomenal route runner. You create space. You generally have good hands. Your hands have improved this season. We all can agree with that. But dude, you have to get it under control. That was a non-contact fumble. I gave you a slight pass in the Detroit game when we had a chance to win it. May have been able to win it on that drive. Do you remember? And your old training camp buddy, Gilbert, who was signed off the practice squad, he sneaks up behind you, knocks the ball out. I gave you a pass, but I said, hey, that was a great play by Gilbert. But today, my friend, you were your worst enemy. You fumbled the ball off of your thigh pad. Some of us want you to be re-signed. I think I'm one of them. We want you to get extended or whatever. But you got to get that ball security. You have to get that under control. All right, get on out of here. So yeah, guys, fumble the ball away. That was a relatively decent drive. And there you have it. We have another donation. Hey, Miss Lady, the Egyptian Queen in the building. Thank you for coming through and hanging out with us tonight. Round of applause to the Queen. Egyptian Queen says, thought I'd never say this, but Mason played with fire. He was hungry, unlike Ben, but ran out of time. Ben should have been benched at the half. That's a good observation there, Egyptian Queen. And actually, let me grab that as well, because I'm going to come back to that. Because there was a point in time where I thought we should have saw Mason Rudolph a little sooner. Not so much that maybe Ben should have been benched, but when the game was out of reach. We'll get there. But thank you for the donation. Appreciate your comment. Let's skim through the rest of this, man. Is there anything else I have to tell y'all? Missed tackles again against Pringle on that other touchdown. That was the one I told you that Cam Hayward was running down the field. At that point, it's 30-0. And we have another office visit. 8th drive. Ray McLeod. Ray, get yourself in the office, sir. I'm not even going to call you Ray McLeod. I'm going to call you Ray. Because that's what you were really acting like. Some of the people in the chat will get it. They will get what I'm saying. You were acting like Ray, sure enough, on that particular situation. Bruh, you cannot get called for taunting. I don't even care what the situation was, right? Let alone we're down. But on top of that, you know what the NFL, you know what they about. You cannot do that. Like, why are you guys doing that? Why are you guys doing that? And here's the funny part, Ray. People keep telling me that it's the coach's fault that you guys do stuff like that. I disagree. I think that's a personal decision. I'm not going to debate anybody else, but I'm not putting that on your coaching staff. I'm putting that on you. You decided to make a mental mistake. I can coach you until the cows come home. But if you decide to be stupid on a play, that's on you. What you taunting for? We're not even winning. However, Ray, I will give you some credit here. I didn't notice until they said it on the broadcast. They said you are leading the league in punt return yards. Wow. I didn't realize that. So good job there. But man, cut the taunting out. You ain't even, I'm just being honest. You ain't even in position on the depth chart to be able to taunt somebody. I'm just saying, cut it out. Got another donation, man. Round of applause to Andre Romero. You think Whack-A-Mole would have done better? I'll get to it. Like I said, I'm not advocating me personally. I'm not saying Rudolph should have came in and taken over for Ben, because it's definitely not all Ben's fault. But I'll get to it. 1 second. I'm almost there. Anything else as far as in-game, guys? Like I said, there's really nothing to talk about. Really nothing. Oh, one last thing. On the 9th drive, Matt Canada, please bring yourself into this office. Please. Mr. Canada. The jury is still out on you, sir. The only slight amount of bail that I'm going to shoot you is the fact that Ben Roethlisberger is your quarterback. Let me explain. I'm not throwing dirt on Ben Roethlisberger's name. You guys know how I feel about Ben Roethlisberger. Mr. Canada, in case you don't know, this is how I feel about it. Ben Roethlisberger has a special place in my heart for the way he has played as a Pittsburgh Steeler his entire career. Because unlike some people, I don't just remember his last couple years or just the bad things. I remember his entire career. He has been a Steeler. I remember the broken nose and all of that kind of stuff. I remember Ben being Ben ball, the scrambling around for almost 12 seconds. I'm exaggerating, and finding Heath Miller for a touchdown. I remember all of these. I remember the throw to Santonio Holmes in the Super Bowl. Some people don't give him credit for that. But I remember on that very drive, he was sacked. I remember on that very drive when I thought it was over. And somehow, I remember that. I remember how much he won as a rookie. I also remember the interception he threw to Harrison. Rookie stuff. But I say all that to say this. He's the only quarterback that has allowed me to see championships and a competition for another one in my tenure. I wasn't around watching, I wasn't watching Steelers football in the Bradshaw days. He's the only one who's allowed me to enjoy the sweet taste of a championship twice. However, I recall, Mr. Canada, I recall you saying at the beginning of the season, and I'm saying this as well so all of the listeners can hear this. I recall, Mr. Canada, you told us that you would be running the plays that Ben Roethlisberger wants to run. Did you not say that, sir? I'll give you a second to respond. Why is that important? Well, that's a little bit of bail that I shoot you because you told us I will be running the plays that Ben Roethlisberger is comfortable with running. And that's important because maybe Ben can't run all of the stuff. We're seeing a little twinkle of what you're trying to run because Ben has ran so many RPOs this season. We're kind of getting a glimpse of maybe where you want to go, but there is no RPO option for Ben to run. However, Mr. Canada, here's the reason why you're in this office. There was a 4th and 1 call early in the game. Or it might not have been that early. I just remember it happened. You, Mr. Canada, decide to run a toss sweep on 4th and 1. Now, I am the same person who says I don't like when we go jumbo and run it straight up the yin yang because we don't have, Kendrick Green just not really going to blow anybody off the ball. But a toss sweep on 4th and 1. And the reason why I didn't feel good about the call is because they already blew that up. They showed us that they won't giving up the edge on the first drive of the game when you ran the toss. All I'm saying is that couldn't have been the most comfortable play at that time. Either spread them out and run up the middle for 1 yard, or maybe do something creative with a play action. Not saying either would work. I'm just saying go with the more high percentage plays. Did not like that call, sir. Here's the other reason why I'm calling you in this office. Ben Roethlisberger fumbles late in that game. Big part of that was because of Kendrick Green. Let's all face it. I keep telling you guys, Kendrick Green is just not that good right now. He gets beat off the line often. Power a lot of times gets to him. And this particular play, it was a rip. Forces the pressure. Ben Roethlisberger fumbles. But you know why I'm coming to you, Matt Canada? Can you explain to me, why are you calling a fake reverse in the 4th quarter being down 33-3? Who's going for the fake? Who's going for that fake? Who's scared of the run? So nobody's going to bite on a fake or play action, I might add. In the 4th quarter, when you're down 33-3, every defense in the world knows you're passing. What are you doing? I don't get it. And later in this show, in a few minutes, I'm going to explain to people how I view the game as far as what I identify as coaching, what I identify as player error. That was an example of bad coaching, because of the play call. Who in their right mind is going to fall for the fake when they're leading in the fourth quarter 33-3? Why would they be afraid of any action that you're doing where it looks like a handoff could happen? Like I said, I'll shoot you a little bit of bail. We'll see if anything changes next year. If you're still there, I don't know. But all right, get out of here, man. We got a donation from JJ Walker. Round of applause, JJ. Appreciate you. He says, do you move Green back to guard and draft a center in the first, or keep him there and let him develop and see if there's something there? Man, that's a good question, man. I don't know, man. I might would try him at guard, man, just to see. Training camp is going to be very important for Kendrick Green, man, because honestly, Kendrick Green listen, when you watch the film the way I do, like play for play, Kendrick Green is not all bad. I've even heard Brian Baldinger and a couple others, guys who played on the offensive line kind of said what he could do to be better. A lot of it might be his technique. You can't teach strength and power. Those things he might be able to control a little bit with weightlifting and things like that. But there's just certain areas where he's not going to be that great. Remember, Marquise Pouncey kind of was the same way, right? Numerous times we saw Marquise Pouncey getting pushed around. Maybe not as much as Kendrick Green. It's definitely not that early in his career. But I like his tenacity. I like the way he finishes plays. I like his will to. So maybe he is better suited as a natural guard, which he played the majority of the time in college. Maybe, you get him on the move more. You allow him to pull more, even though they do a little bit of it with the center too. And he's done better in those plays. And I can show you guys. There's plays where he seals his guy. He's just not consistent. So maybe if you can get a center, man, maybe put him back at guard. But I think training camp is going to really be crucial for Kendrick Green. No, he's not getting cut, folks. Remember, this guy was drafted as a project in the 3rd round. He's on a rookie deal. So for all of you guys saying they need to get rid of him, open your eyes and be realistic. That is not happening. They ain't getting rid of nobody that fast. Maybe they move him. And then if he just can't perform, if he's just completely horrible again next year, then they might talk. But it ain't happening after one season. So we'll see. All right, guys, let's get to it, man. Let's see. What else do I got here? A couple things I'm just hit on really quick. Then I'm going to get into the game. As far as where I want to, the conversation I want to have with you guys. Oh, another donation. Real facts. Round of applause. He says the rookie quarterback that comes here is going to be in for it. By the look of the chat after every loss, if he isn't perfect, they'll be saying he's a bust. Facts. Facts from Real Facts. Facts from Real Facts. Yeah, man. But again, I have a strong feeling that next year's starting quarterback is already on the roster. I'm just saying. Just saying. All right, man, some quick takeaways. Steelers didn't get much pressure at all on the Chiefs on that first drive. It was too easy. And not a whole lot of pressure at all in the game throughout the duration. Shout outs to Cam Hayward. He got himself another sack tonight. Steelers unable to run the ball in the first quarter. And what do you know? A couple successful runs we did start getting, we couldn't sustain drives. Oh, and that's another thing about Matt Canada that I didn't talk about while he was in the office. Why in the world was we running the ball so much in the third quarter? Y'all remember that drive? Yeah, it was working, but dog, you ate the clock. I'm cool with keeping the defense honest, but bruh, we ran the ball like 7 times on that drive, and we ate the clock up. Man. Man, I don't know. No touchdown in the first half for the Steelers in 5 consecutive games. They said that's the first time since 1940. 3 consecutive road games, the Steelers have been down by more than 23 points. Had a question. Why does it seem like the offensive line starts to play better in the second half? Did y'all notice that? Again, I watched the game a little differently. Maybe everybody didn't see what I saw. But we started getting a lot of push. It's the weirdest thing, man. And to me, that's the biggest thing with this offensive line. They're just inconsistent. They've had some decent moments this season. They have some decent moments in the game. It's just, I don't know, man. As somebody said, the other team lets up. No. I'm not going to believe that in terms of the trenches. Maybe other areas, but not with the trenches. Because you can't do no letting up in the trenches. O-line, D-line don't have that opportunity to let up. Because you'll get yourself hurt. There's collision on every play. So I'm only talking about the trenches. Steelers running the ball a lot while down 30 in the third quarter. I just talked about that. I wanted to know why we didn't put Rudolph in on the second to last drive when we were clearly not going to win the game. And the reason being is because of what some of you guys said here tonight. Rudolph came in and looked like he had a mission, right? We weren't going to win the game anyway. Why keep Ben Roethlisberger out there? That's a coaching thing. Again, remember the guy that y'all claim don't fault or don't criticize Tomlin? That's a criticism of Tomlin in that moment. Why didn't you get Rudolph in earlier? For one reason, there's no need for Ben Roethlisberger to be out there. And just let somebody else play. See how they do. Get another look at him. I don't know. I just thought Rudolph should have been there a drive before the drive he came in. Just me personally. I know we scored or whatever on that drive with Ben to Deontay, but did it matter at that point? I just felt like, listen, as crazy as it sounds, the Steelers actually still have an opportunity to make the playoffs. How crazy is that? And knowing that, yeah, you just get the starters out the game. That's just my opinion. So I didn't agree with that as far as, Tomlin's handling of that, but whatever. And that's about it, guys. Let's get into the discussion point. Wait. There was something that who was it? Was it the Egyptian queen? Yeah. She was talking about Rudolph. Yeah, so I kind of just covered that. I don't get why Rudolph didn't play a little sooner. Also, I forget which one of you guys made this donation here, so forgive me, but I took notes of it. He says, I'm taking the glass half full approach. Remember when KC's O-line was a lot of rookies, and now look at them. They are growing pains we got to endure. I fully agree with that, guys, and that brings me to my next discussion with you guys. Everybody, not everybody, but some of you guys try to make the debate between Steelers should have taken Creed Humphrey, right? This is a great debate. You know why it's so great? Because nobody knows how it would have played out. Let me explain. Going into last year's draft, there were a couple very big needs by the Pittsburgh Steelers. One, obviously, was offensive line. 2, you could say running back. 3, you definitely could say tight end. The type of tight end that can block and all of that. Let's remember how well Freiermuth has been blocking for the Steelers, right? All of these things are on the table. So then it comes down to big board. Who do you have ranked higher than the other? So the conversation is always going to come down to Creed Humphrey. Creed Humphrey seems to be playing well with Kansas City. I don't know how well he's done this season. I haven't watched all their games. But, he seems to be doing decent. Looked like he played a good game tonight. Kansas City took Creed Humphrey in the second round, if I'm not mistaken. And let me make sure. I believe it was the second round, and it was after. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. It was after Freiermuth. I know that for a fact. And I want to say, I definitely want to say it was as well in the second round. But hold on. Let me make sure. Y'all might hear some noise.
Takes
here.
us behind.
Oops, right there. Let me pause that. So let's go to round 2. Pittsburgh Steelers select Pat Fryermuth with the 23rd pick. Okay? Kansas City selects Creed Humphrey at 31. So like I said, it's a fair debate. Whichever side of the fence you're on, I can't debate that. Because here's the question. Let's say we take Creed Humphrey. How much does it change? Maybe some, because, again, I haven't watched a lot of Kansas City, but seems like he's having a better season than Kendrick Green, right? So maybe that interior would have been solidified a little more than it is with Kendrick Green. But then the Steelers desperately needed a tight end. Pat Fryermuth has been instrumental in quite a few of these games. Remember some of the big catches he's made, a couple of the big touchdowns, his blocking ability. Remember how instrumental he has been with some of those blocks? Remember when I was showing you guys early, or at least talking about earlier in the year, all of those split zone type of runs that we ran that was the most successful play, where Fryermuth was lined up on this side and he cracks down the line? Those were all about big runs. Remember the games when Najee went over 100 yards? Or all of those games where he was at 80 or more plus yards? It was those blocks, those runs, and the run where we do like the little wham action with one of the receivers. Cody White had been instrumental in a couple of those plays, right? So it's a give and take. Some people would say the Steelers missed on that, but it's hard to say. The Steelers were in a situation where there was a need. And listen, I'm not absolving them. I'm not saying they made the right decision or the wrong decision. But the truth of the matter is, all 3 of those areas was an area of need. The Steelers elected to go with the running back and the tight end first. And they come back in the 3rd round and they try to get a center. We could all argue that Creed Humphrey may have been better than Kendrick Green. Understandable. Then they tried to get a left tackle in Dan Moore, which I think Dan Moore is going to be okay. I do. He's outplaying Kendrick Green as far as just rookie status in respective position. But like I said, I'm just curious to see how you guys feel. It's a debate, man. It's tough. It's tough to make that call and definitively say they picked the wrong guy. Shout outs to Q for the donation. Q says, draft Creed at 24. This season shows you why running back isn't a need when your O-line is trash. Okay. Listen, I can't disagree with your opinion. I don't know. I don't know if he should have been picked in the 1st round. See, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I look right above your comment, Q, and I see Darrell Merritt says Creed is a beast. He's a road grader, but I'm not mad about the Muth pick. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's to me personally, it's too easy to look at how it turned out and then make your determination. And I'm not saying you're doing that, but a lot of fans are. Again, highlight watchers. They're just going off of, and I get what the Steelers were trying to do, right? You grab you a beast running back, and you grab what's going to be a beast tight end, and then you go get an offensive lineman. Now, I could agree. Maybe you go offensive line earlier than that. Because remember what I kept saying going into the draft. Look, I ain't mad if they get Najee, then they turn around and get a respectable offensive lineman in the 2nd. I wouldn't have been mad at that. Would not have been mad at that. But it's a tough call to make. So this is a discussion, guys. Let me hear what some of you guys have to say. Give me some more opinions on that. Excuse me. Give me some more opinions on that specifically. Wave Dave is laughing at Creed at 24. He says, laugh out loud. Let's see. What else you guys got? What else? Come on, guys. Jesse Joy says, we all love Najee and Pat. They hit on those picks. They took a chance on waiting to pick an O lineman, but I'm not going to act like they drafted bad. Jesse, let me go out on a limb and say I agree with you wholeheartedly. And that's what I'm trying to say, guys, as an objective fan. We can't say that they blew it because of the guys. Oh, say what you want. You can debate Najee may not have been, shouldn't have been in the first round. I mean, I get it, the stigma on running backs, but I am not mad at Najee Harris being our running back for the foreseeable future. I'm here to tell you that. I'm not mad at that. What else y'all got? Come on, somebody else give me some more on that. What y'all got? Kenyon is laughing at Creed at 24 as well. Leonard Green says, our starting running back last year could have stayed healthy. Najee was a need, short-term memory. People, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Okay, y'all are arguing some things about Mike Tomlin, I see. Virgin. I don't know if I'm saying your name correctly, man. I apologize. But he says they need O lineman in the second round after taking Najee. Creed should have been the pick. Yeah, and see, I cannot disagree with that. I can't disagree with any way or any side of the fence you guys are on. I just don't ever disagree when people are saying they blew a pick, because I can't say that given the fact of what Freiermuth has been. But I agree. I wouldn't have been mad at all with going O lineman in the second round. That's what I thought they were going to do. Round of applause to see Antoine Hill. He says, I'm late, Sim, but for those who are complaining about the draft, answer this. What chances are we able to draft two beasts in Najee and Pat in the same exact year, both projected at round 1 picks? That's what I'm saying, man. It's what I'm saying. It's very easy for us to come in and say, I just try. Here's my philosophy. And then I'm going to get into the coaching stuff. I try not to speculate too much on things that I can't prove. I cannot say Steelers blew the second round. When you see Pat Freiermuth, I am not mad at the pick at all. Would I have liked a Creed Humphrey? Sure. But when they turned around and they did end up drafting two linemen after that, I was like, okay, maybe they see something in these guys and they're swinging for the fence. They get two studs that they're going to need offensively, and you get some offensive linemen. Listen, maybe they didn't pan out, but Dan Moore is actually looking like a guy that's probably going to pan out. I think Dan Moore just needs more experience. Kendrick Green is the one that we all can say, I don't know what he's going to be. You know, Kendrick Green is probably the guy that we might say, I don't know what he's going to be. We'll have to see. Round of applause, man, to Victory Asher. He says Najee needs to gain about 10 pounds over the offseason. Wouldn't be mad at that. I don't know if I would say that he needs it. You know, he's already about 230-ish, 220-something, I think. So I don't know if he needs it. But, you know, I'm never mad at a guy bulking up, you know, for the greater good. I do see a comment here from Virgin. I don't know how to pronounce the rest of your name, but he says, after taking Najee in the first, if you really want to work on a better run game, you go offensive lineman, not tight end. But again, this is the thing that you're missing as a fan. We don't know where they rank these guys. We don't know. Like I said, to me, clearly the gamble was get these guys while we can get them, and we have guys that we think can fill a position for us. Think about it. You're only upset about Kendrick Green because he didn't pan out, right? The Steelers thought they had something in him. Whether right or wrong, I understand the approach. So I'm not going to go as far as to act as if the general manager and Kevin Colbert doesn't know what he's doing. You understand what I'm saying? Maybe they missed. Maybe the scouting. I don't know. But I'm saying I understand their approach. Now, had they not drafted any offensive linemen in the first 3 or 4 rounds, then I would have been looking a little more crazy. But listen, they gambled and they didn't hit on Kendrick Green so far. Round of applause to Steeler Lee. Donation. Appreciate it. Steeler Lee says, who's to say Creed would have worked with our coaches? It's about scheme and coaching sometimes. That's what I'm saying, man. It's so many different things that you can hit on. And that's going to lead me to the next point, my next discussion. And I swear I didn't mean to be here so long tonight, man, but let's do it. I'm watching the game like I do most Sundays with my father-in-law, Leonard. And we're having a debate about coaching and what's coaching, what isn't coaching. And, Leonard is telling me that if they knew their offensive line was bad to begin the season, why didn't they do anything? And I'm like, well, the wording that you're using, you got to be careful with that. You can't say they didn't do anything. They drafted 2 offensive linemen. They brought in a free agent. Now, of course, you can look at it now and say it didn't work per se, but I'm very careful with saying what an organization does and doesn't do, right? Because we don't know all of the details. So then we get into this debate about what's coaching. Well, not really, because I wasn't saying anything. I'm just allowing him to say what he has to say. But hold that thought. We got another donation, man, from C. Antoine Hill. Y'all killing it with donations tonight. I appreciate y'all, man. He says, we will be in position for a center next draft. Green is a good bridge center who is really a left guard or right guard. We can go quarterback at round 1 and then center in round 2. Yeah. And, sometimes organizations and GMs, they play the long game. From what I remember, I could be wrong. Please, y'all correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But it did seem like that there wasn't a bunch of real center prospects that people were saying they were hits. Like Dickinson had injury history. It was something with Creed also. But there was a couple centers I remember that wasn't like for sure first rounders, and they kind of fell in the draft, if I remember correctly. So you never know, man, what the GMs are looking at in the organization wise. But let me get back to what I was saying and discussing with Leonard. So we get into, he's saying what's coaching and this and that. And I turn to Leonard and I say, look, I'm not going to debate anybody anymore about what's coaching and what's not. We all have our own opinion. The only thing I can do is explain to you guys how I see it through my eyes. So let me explain that really quick, guys. And then, we can have a little small discussion, right? To me, coaching is player personnel as far as how you utilize them once you have them on your team. Play calls, challenges, time management. Time management and challenges is things that I have looked Mike Tomlin square in the eye, figuratively. And those are the things I have criticized him for over the years and did it last week, matter of fact. Play calling, I look at situational play calling. When you decide to run this play or that play, like that's a clear choice, like a toss sweep on 4th and 1. It's harder to always criticize defense until you really see what package you're in and what the offense is running as far as how they're lined up and what they run against you, right? So to me, it's a lot harder to say a defensive plan was bad until you watch the film. That's why a lot of times I tell you guys when I come on Tuesday after we watch the game whether I have the all-22 by then or not, I've rewatched the game and I can tell you, okay, this and that, right? Real quick, man, another donation, Andre Romero, round of applause. I can't really answer that question, man, about signing Tyler Huntley, because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think, is his contract expiring this year? I don't know. So I can't answer that, but I will say this as a global. Listen, Tyler Huntley looks good in the Ravens offense, and that's another thing that people have to understand. Again, not accusing you of this, Andre, but this is something that me and my father-in-law Leonard talk about as well. Like today, he's telling me, man, Josh Johnson looked good. You know, he was out there. Why didn't? And I'm like, see, you guys see one game or something, and now you're immediate fans. I'm like, you can't do it like that. There's a reason why Josh Johnson has been, you know, on practice squads or sitting at home or whatever he was doing for as long as he's been playing in the league and been on like 13 teams. There's a reason for that. You can't look at one game that he looked decent and then you comparing him to somebody. You just can't do that. At least I don't. I look at football way too detailed to be that, you know, just that quick to make a decision. Same reason again, why I'm just giving you guys my knee-jerk reaction tonight. Man, round of applause. Boy, y'all are coming through with the donations, man. Mariano Pampa, I appreciate you. He says, win or lose, the post show is something I look forward to. Happy holidays to you and yours, Sim. Here we go, still a nation. Time for those growing pains. Laugh out loud. Yeah, man. Yeah. I thank you for that. I really love you guys, man. I really, really do. Y'all make me tick. I appreciate you. And yeah, it's time for that. So let me get back to the coaching really quick, man, because I meant not to be so long, but y'all always bring it out of me, man. When I look at this team, it's time, still a nation, to face the facts. I have been telling y'all this for weeks. And trust me, I'm not a narcissist. I am humble. I don't think I'm right all the time. I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. I'm always trying to learn. But what I also do is I do give myself a little credit for being detail oriented in the things that I do in life, right? And when it comes to watching the Steelers, I use my little football acumen that I have. I study the roster. I study the film. I study the team's approach generally, their philosophy. I look at all of these things and it helps me come to these determinations that I have. Another one. Round of applause. See Antoine Hill. He says, my bad, Sim. Happy holidays to you and yours. Thank you. So because I do all of that, I'm able to come here on the show sometimes and I tell you guys sometimes things y'all don't want to hear. I don't think we're going to win that game. I'm not confident. I don't know about. And sometimes y'all kill me for it, right? And then other times y'all come back and say, dag, man, Sim, you've been saying it for, again, none of us ever know what's really going to happen when you're on that grass. I could give my thoughts, but sometimes they've won games I thought we were going to lose, right? And vice versa. Remember, I said I wasn't too concerned about the Vikings. And whoa, I couldn't have been more wrong because when they got on that grass, but it's just what I'm seeing out of this team. I've been saying it for weeks. We're not a great team this year. And there's multiple reasons why. A lot of people want to point only to the coaching. Coaching takes some of that, yes. Every team that doesn't play that well, look at all these teams that's in the hunt. You can say that about all of these teams, right? As coaching definitely plays a part, of course. So does the players. So does who do you have available. Poor Ravens, man, they've been ravished, right? They probably going to continue to fall. They got only 2 more games left, and then one of them is against us. But, listen, you can't, there's no excuses for any of it, but you have to acknowledge, like, the loss of Alu and Tyson and Tuitt, huge. And we just have not been able to replace that. Now, I will say this. How much difference would they have made? I don't know. But I would like to think they would have made some difference. You know why? We saw Tyson Alu routinely stop runs for a 1 or 2 yard gain or tackles for loss. We definitely seen that from Tuitt. So you can only assume that they would have had some more of that in some of these games, and we would have been able to play a little more free. The linebackers would have been able to play a little more freely. I watched the Ravens game today, and I saw a couple plays when Patrick Queen was shoot through the gap, making a tackle for loss because the D-line allowed him to be clean. We haven't had a lot of that. On top of that, a Devin Bush that isn't so sure about himself. Right? And then we rotating him and Schobert and Spillane. Gilbert was out there playing defensive snaps today. It's a multitude of reasons. Minkah Fitzpatrick is over 100 tackles. He's leading the team. That's no bueno. I love that he's doing that, but I've been telling y'all every week, Minkah doing more than y'all think. He might not have no interceptions, really, but the boy has been keeping the lid on a lot of time. So you got that, right? You got an aging quarterback. And what I mean by that, did y'all see what Mason Rudolph was able to do in that last drive? When trouble came his way, the boy got out of it and scrambled downfield. We saw that earlier this season. Remember that other game Mason Rudolph played and he had quite a few rushes for plus 20 yards. Now, am I here to tell you that Mason Rudolph needs to be the guy? No. But what I'm saying is it shows you that this team definitely needs to get younger at quarterback so you can have at least a Joe Burrow type of running game with your quarterback that can escape the pocket. Hey, maybe you get a little better and you get a Justin Herbert-like quarterback that can extend the play with his feet when things break down. Or you might even get a little better and you get a guy that can take off like a Patrick Mahomes. Hey, you might mess around and shoot for the stars, like, you shoot for the fences, wrong reference, but you might shoot for the fences and you draft a guy like Malik Willis that might give you some Lamar Jackson action. But what it definitely doesn't work now is the statuesque 39-year-old Ben Roethlisberger. Because now when the play breaks down, it breaks down. It's either a bad sack because Ben has held the ball too long and doesn't throw it away, or it's a fumble because he can't move. So it's a combination of that and the offensive line not being consistent. Like I said, hate or love Mason Rudolph, but at least Mason Rudolph proved once again. Because remember, I cannot remember what game that was he played when Ben was out. Can't remember. But remember, I said it then. If anything, Rudolph shows you why we need a new quarterback. No disrespect to Ben, but he can't move. That might be part of the reason why he on that first read. Y'all notice that? I've been saying that too all year. Ben is on that first read quite often. Doesn't go through his progressions. Might be because he doesn't trust the protection. That's fair. When you're 39 and you've been beat up your career, that's fair. But again, as Leonard, I said this when Mason Rudolph was in there. I said, you know what? I still take Ben over him, but what's funny is I actually see him looking through his progressions. And again, not saying Rudolph is the answer. I'm just seeing the difference it makes when you have youth on your side and you have a guy that can at least escape the pocket. That helps, that aids the offensive line when they're not that great. That allows you to be able to run sprint outs. Much like, Baker Mayfield, they get him on the move a lot, even though they got a great offensive line. But that allows you to be able to get your quarterback on the move. We can't really do that with Ben. So it's a combination of multiple things. But it should be clear for you guys to see with your own eyes. This team just ain't. That's why I said weeks ago the season is over. We're not going anywhere. And the funny thing is, we might stumble into the playoffs if we can win against Cleveland and if we somehow win against Baltimore. And who knows? The AFC has been so crazy. 8-1 might get you in there. I'm just saying, man, you got to be a realist sometimes, guys. And I just try to speak the truth, man, the best I can, with taking my beloved fanism off the table. Sometimes it is what it is. And like I was telling my father-in-law tonight, we can't try to find an excuse every time as to why they don't win. And what I mean by that, we can't always say, man, this offensive line is just trash. If we had a better offensive line, then we'd be able to run the ball. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's what every team aspires to do. Man, this coach is like, we always try to find a reason why instead of just facing the facts. This team right now, I'm sorry to tell y'all, we're in rebuild mode. Yes. How do I know this? Your quarterback is aging. Your quarterback is we pretty much think this is his last season. The rumor came out that he already told the team. He was asked about it, and he said, well, I didn't tell everybody. He did not refute it. The Steelers try to go out there and rebuild the offensive line. There is not one starter from last season on the offensive line. Kevin Dotson wasn't even a starter. Remember, he didn't begin the season as a starter last year. It's not one returning starter. 2 rookies. And now you even got a 3rd or 4th string guy in LeGlue who's out there. Here's a coaching thing. Wonder why Hassanauer didn't get more reps at center. Might be one of those, I got to manage the player, right? It's probably one of those, if you yank Kendrick Green now, what does it do to his confidence? That's a real thing. Some of y'all might not agree with that, but that's a real thing that you have to manage as a coach. Let me pause real quick. Round of applause, man, to who's this? The Egyptian Queen. Thank you again for the donation. Round of applause. She says, Sim, me and my bestie, could be Nay, are enjoying your content today. Always thankful for Big Ben for what he's done for us over the years, but it's time to pass the torch. Yeah. And Egyptian Queen, please let me know, is it Nay? Because I know in my community that might be Nay. Or is it nah? Let me know. I think it's Nay. I'm going to just say it's Nay. But yes, thank you for the donation. I really, really appreciate you. That's the hard truth, man. It is what it is. And again, like I said, y'all haven't seen me debate anything that y'all have said about Tomlin, whether it's good or bad, because I'm just not. I'll let y'all have that. There's no point in me debating that, because it's just like having an argument with your significant other. Sometimes it's better to just chill and let cooler heads prevail, because they're going to have their opinion, you're going to have yours. There's no winning. So, listen. Y'all know how I feel about the coaches. I've said it numerous times. Listen, Coach Tomlin has his warts like every other coach, but I still think he's a great football coach. And that's just how I feel. Would it hurt my feelings if the Steelers decided to let him go? No. I'd miss him. But I'm a fan of the team. I'd have to support the next coach. So, yeah. I'm waiting for Egyptian Queen to confirm my pronunciation of her friend. But I saw one of you guys post a comment here about Ben's family being in Kansas City. You know what was interesting about that? They said that his family has never gone to an away game. That's interesting. That's interesting. That is interesting. Why is that interesting? Well, that's very telling. As far as, and I'm sorry for looking down, but I'm hiding this goofy channel here. Very telling. Very telling. Very telling. That might very well mean that Ben Roethlisberger is done. Just saying. Now, it could be because it was Christmas. Could be that, but I'm just saying. That's where I'm at, guys. It's a lot of blame to go around. From front office to Kevin Colbert to Mike Tomlin to the rest of the staff and also to the players. Because like I said, coaches coach, players execute. And I am seeing a ton of lack of execution, tackling. Guys not winning their one-on-ones. Bad decisions. Ball security. Can't coach that. But, you know, fans like to take the easy way out and they like to blame it on coaches. Oh, and here's the last thing I want to say. Here's another debate that me and my beloved father-in-law, Leonard, another debate that we had tonight. And I told him that this is just the way I see it. I don't disagree with his opinion. And I won't disagree with some of you guys if y'all feel the same way. But I just don't subscribe to the coach didn't have the team ready to play. I don't subscribe to that. I'm sorry. I don't subscribe to that. There's no way you're going to get me to believe. I'm talking any NFL coach, not just our team. You're never going to get me to believe that from week to week, coaches prepare any differently as far as their will to win. You'll never get me to believe that. And you know why I won't never side with that? Is because, again, as someone who's played sports and have been in some big time games and been in some games that you're supposed to win and you lost, games that you were confident in and you lost, games that you thought you had no chance to win and you won, we approached it the same. Nobody went into that, and the coaches definitely didn't come to us saying, all right, this week we're going to relax. I just don't believe that. I don't believe Bill Belichick didn't have his team prepared to play today against the Bills. This was for the division lead. You gonna get me to believe that Belichick didn't have the team ready to play? I just don't believe that. I'm sorry. You're gonna tell me that Cliff Kingsbury didn't have his team ready to play when the Lions beat them? I'm sorry, I'm just not gonna believe that. I don't know what the score is on tonight's game, but let's just say whoever's up, the other team, they weren't prepared to play their division rival. I just will never subscribe to that. Because here's the funny part. You never hear anybody say the coach had the team ready to play when they win. I'm talking about the fans. Y'all never say that when we win. It's only a result bias. No one ever says that when we win. I didn't see nobody say that Mike Tomlin and company, let's include the entire staff. I didn't see nobody saying Keith Butler did a great job when they kept Cleveland from running the football. Again, our defense this year, who's 31st against the run, shut Cleveland down. I ain't see nobody say Keith Butler had them ready to play. Mike Tomlin had them ready to play. I didn't see anybody say when we beat Baltimore, Tomlin had them ready to play. Keith Butler did a good job controlling Lamar Jackson. I ain't see that. I ain't see nobody saying that Tomlin had the team ready to play when we went to Buffalo in week 1 on the road. I ain't see that. Didn't see nobody. Here's a good one for y'all. Nobody gave credit for Tomlin and company, everybody, keeping their team together last week and having them ready to play and come back and win a game. I ain't see nobody say that. So if you're not saying it when we win, can't be saying that when they lose. Just my opinion. CT Pittman, man, round of applause for another donation. Appreciate you. He says, I played football in high school and college. I can honestly say there are times where I didn't do what the coaches said and ignored him. He fussed. Yes, CT, I told y'all the story about me. I'll tell it again really quick. Let me get to the next donation. Oh man, who is this? Tiggs a lot. Round of applause. Appreciate it. Tig said, appreciate what you do with your content. This is my safe place to mourn our beloved Steelers year after year. When will this suffering end? Yeah. Thanks and happy holidays to you and yours. Thank you. Happy holidays to you and yours as well. I don't know when it's going to end, man. Or ma'am, I don't know if you're male or female. I don't know when it's going to end. We're in that rut right now. And we started seeing it next. Remember last year? I'm not saying I'm right. I have been wrong a lot. But remember last year, we was 11-0. And I kept saying, this team ain't as good as y'all think. We started seeing a decline last year. We just happened to somehow pull those games out. You can't keep doing that. Sometimes you have to actually be a good team. And here we are again. Yeah, that's it, man. It's like I said, I like consistency. I know people who just don't like Mike Tomlin as a coach and they consistent with that, even when we win. I like those folks. You know why I like them? Because they don't switch up. I know people who love Mike Tomlin and he can't do no wrong. I like those folks because they don't switch up. I hate to switch up. I just hate flip-flopping. You can change your mind. But I mean, when you have such a strong opinion on something, and then all of a sudden, when there's another result, you ain't got nothing to say. We don't believe you. You need more people. I don't rock with those opinions. I'm sorry, and everybody's entitled to them, but I don't respect it. I don't respect it if you ain't consistent with yours. Just being honest. Yeah. Hey, Miss Debbie, I didn't say hi to you tonight. How you doing, Miss Debbie? Appreciate you. You know that. Let me read your comment. She says, Sim, last year when the team was 11-0 playing similarly to this on and off defense and all of that, they weren't saying it either. But when they started losing, that's when the fire chance, trade, cut chance start. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's what I'm saying. And I know some of y'all are going to say, look, we all different. Y'all, we are. But I feel like I'm making my responsibility to explain to you guys what my thought process is. Since you guys are so gracious in watching me and you kind of follow my content, I'm always going to give y'all my thought and why I see it that way and try to help you guys that are honestly not viewing it a certain way and would like to. Try to help you understand certain things, you know, as well. Like one of the females who called last week, remember? 937, what she called Tuesday, she said, I don't know a lot about football, but I do know that. So I'm here for those folks who are just casual watchers to help you understand it's more than just what meets the eye. It's more than that. Where the team loses is at the line of scrimmage. Plain and simple. We have not consistently controlled either line of scrimmage. And that's why this team is where they are. It's that simple. and yet they still have a chance. That was Angela. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you. And thank you, Angela, if you're listening, from 937. Well, yeah, guys, that's it, man. Let's read some comments. Let's read a couple, and then we'll get out of here. Tomlin message: growing old in the Berg, bro. I'm a supporter. This is from Knight Rider. He says, Tomlin's message is growing old in the Berg. I'm a supporter of Tomlin, but I'm gonna keep it real. That's just me. That's fine. That's fine. You know, listen, that is fine. Everybody is entitled and welcome to their opinion. Like, y'all are never gonna hear me say you should like Mike Tomlin. You should hate Mike Tomlin. You should like Keith Butler. You should hate Keith Butler. I don't do that. I just give you my point of view, just like I expect you guys to give me yours. So that's fine. Thanks for the comment there, Knight Rider. See Antoine Hill with another round of applause. You said D still wants to bring you in on IG Live. That's the young lady I think you mentioned that does Steeler content as well. We'll see. You know, I just got to be honest. If I get the time to do it, when does she normally do her thing? So you have to give me a little more information. But I say we'll see because I just be honest and fair. I be busy with stuff a lot of times. And, of course, my first priority is going to always be what I do. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to, collab with others, but it's just going to have to work out. It's got to work out it's got to be beneficial for me to do it, if that makes sense. Round of applause to Yup. Donation. He says, I've been saying for years, so-called fans love to talk about the first negative thing that pops up to blame Tomlin, but will neglect the positive. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I mean, like I said, I cannot control how people feel about anybody. It's just, from a football standpoint, I mean, you have to acknowledge what he's done. If some of you guys would like to see, a new regime, that's fair. and that's the thing. Y'all will never hear me disagree with that. Because if it happened to where Tomlin walked away, or if he was let go, we still gonna be here. God willing, we still gonna be here. I don't have no allegiance. I can like the coach, and then if he's gone, he's gone. Then let's keep it moving. So, Football Mind 02 says, Sim, since people in the chat just think it's strictly players, I asked earlier why the Chiefs literally go from worst to first on defense. Nobody had a logical answer. Just want your opinion. That is a great comment. I would assume there's some coaching involved with that. Got to be some player execution as well. I haven't watched a lot of the Chiefs, but I did, some of the games. Remember, Kenya would remember this. It was a lot of games I watched of the Chiefs when they were stinking up the place, and it was just poor, and excuse my French, piss poor execution by those players. Poor. Right? And honestly, I don't know what changed. I definitely will give credit to the coaches and the players. But to what degree, I can't say, because I don't watch their team the same way I watch ours. And it's the same thing I say about the Steelers. It ain't all on the players. I just say that it's not all coaching. The things that our fan base want to blame coaching for, I'm like, I don't know about that. Missed tackles, poor angles, losing your one-on-one battle. A couple plays a day by Joe Hayden where he bites more on Patrick Mahomes attempting to scramble and lets the running back run right past him, even though his responsibility is the deep third. Bonehead mistakes, taunting penalties, fumbles, false starts, offside. I'm just saying, those things, to me, that's the players. But I will admit, that's a great point. Kansas City turned it around. Don't know. Could be a multitude of things. The fact that their offense got going, because let's not forget, their offense was struggling too early in the season. And maybe the offense being able to, sustain drives and put points on the board helps the defense as well. But yeah, I'm sure it has something to do with their coaches, with Spagnuolo and all of that. I'm sure. But again, I would say the same thing about them. If I watched them heavily, I'm sure a good part of that also was player execution. But again, I don't watch them like that, so I can't actively answer that, to be honest. I really can't. But that's a great question. Dietrich Bundick says all positions on this team need to be addressed. Yes. That's the last question I wanted to ask to you guys, and then I'll get out of here. The last question I had on my docket. Name the players you feel good about on our team on both sides of the ball. What I mean by that is when we line up to play, when we go into the game next week or any game this week, name me the players and their positions that you feel confident is going to play well. Not saying they're going to be a star every game, but you feel like they're going to play, they're going to do their job. They're going to be where they need to be. Both sides of the ball. I want y'all to do that. That's how we're going to finish this show. I'm going to read some comments in the meantime. Scott Campbell says, they got what the Chiefs are. A Super Bowl contender. Steelers AFC dominance is over. Facts. Big Ben is over. Tomlin and coaching staff is over. I wouldn't say that. I don't think the organization is getting rid of Tomlin, regardless of how this season ends up. Again, some people say it's not important, but from a business standpoint, this could potentially be his first losing season. They're not firing him after that. But I won't disagree with your opinion. I'm just kind of answering your statements. They need to rebuild everything. AFC goes through KC. They do. And I think they're in the process of that. That offensive line rebuilding, I don't even think it's fully addressed next year. I think it takes a year or two. So we'll see. But yeah, the only thing that I'm not sure about, sir, is Tomlin and coaching staff is over. Nah, I don't believe that. I believe potentially Keith Butler might not be back. Most everyone else might remain intact. I know Adrian Clem, there's reports out there that he potentially has an offer at Oregon. But we'll see. All right, yeah, let me see what you guys got, man. Cam, Watt, Minka, Boswell, Highsmith. Watt and Haywood. Watt, Haywood, Minka, Hightower. Damn. Highsmith, but I know who you meant. Deontay and Najee. Okay. Offense, DJ and Harris and Dan Moore from Wave Dave. Okay. Let's see what else y'all give me a few more and then I'll give you my point. Cam, DJ, Minka. Okay. Cam, Minka, Edmonds, Watt, and Highsmith. Yep. Okay, I see you throwing Edmonds in there, and I agree with you with that. I know Edmonds is gonna be what he is. Rajon just says TJ Watt. That's it. Woo. Rad Rob says, what do you think the Steelers could acquire in a trade for Coach Tomlin? I'm not addressing that. That's not even realistic. But if you're asking, let me tell you something. If the Steelers tried to trade Mike Tomlin, I believe he gets multiple first-round picks. Steelers fan base is really the only ones who thinks he's a bad coach. By the way, that's just my educated guess. Steelers fans are the only ones that think he's a bad coach. Mike Tomlin easily goes to another team if he's fired, easily gets the house in a trade. Just saying. Cody says Ben, Najee, Deontay, TJ, Haywood, Fitz, and Boswell. Okay. Najee, Minka on the defense is because TJ is really hurt, cracked ribs. Yeah, that hurt, man. TJ is playing through some things. All right, I see what y'all got. Kenya says TJ, Cam, re-sign Juju. Ooh, see, I knew that, Kenya. I knew won't nobody gonna say Juju. Edmonds, Minka, Mason, Highsmith, Najee, Moof, Moore, KG, Deontay, and number 11. Okay. Yeah, Debbie, he might not. He might not because I think Butler is on his last contract. 28-7 Dallas. Wow. Okay, so I guess y'all gonna say Ron Rivera didn't have his team ready to play, right? Okay, so y'all see the common theme, right? Of the people that you guys are saying that y'all trust. We haven't named more than like 6 people. Right? We really haven't named more than 3 people on either side. My only point in saying that, is it the depth chart? Is it the coaching? Because clearly somebody coaches TJ Watt, do they not? Somebody also coaches Minka Fitzpatrick. Somebody coaches Najee Harris. Somebody has coached Cam Hayward. This regime also drafted Cam Hayward and TJ Watt. Somebody coaches Deontay Johnson, which this regime also drafted. Fryermuth. Some of y'all said him. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it is or isn't coaching or players. All I'm saying is I just don't debate on things that is speculated. People speculate coach didn't have the team ready to play. Yada, yada, yada. We can't prove any of that. I only give my opinions based off of what I see on that field. I don't listen to the media. I don't listen to Stephen A. Smith. I don't listen to whoever else. I give my opinion based off of what I see. Because a lot of y'all do that too. Y'all hear what the media say, and then y'all use that as your opinion. Yeah, that ain't good, man. That ain't good. That ain't good. It's not good, guys. I didn't name a lot of people there. You guys didn't name a lot of people. So there you have it. We're just not a good team, man. We're going through rebuild and turnover. That's where we at. And the fact that we're still competitive, it's interesting. That's all I'm saying. And here's another fun fact. They might mess around and make it to the playoffs somehow. Wouldn't that be crazy? But that's all, guys. I think we can wrap this show up, man. We almost been 2 hours. I did not mean to do this tonight. But sometimes you got to look at it like that, guys. What? Y'all said Jonathan Allen just punched Deron Payne on the sideline. Woo. Oh, man. Builder's Life says, it's him. He says, lots of issues are players. You see coaches all the time telling players and quarterbacks telling players, and they keep making the same mistakes. Can't blame coaches when players aren't good enough. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying, folks. That's why I'm not so bad. I don't point the finger at coaches outside of the things that I know they control, right? I can complain about Keith Butler and Mike Tomlin at times because we know he's played, he calls some of the defense. I can complain about some of the play calls, some of the personnel. Obviously, from the head coach standpoint, challenges, time management. But I can't always just say it's bad coaching when these players are not executing. You got to put some of that on the players. You just have to, man. And it baffles me how most people don't. It's either coaching or it ain't, right? And like I said, when we win, I don't see nobody saying a word. Don't see nobody giving the coaches no credit. The majority of people. Y'all don't give the coaches no credit, but let them lose. Then it's all coaching. So, I don't know. That's all I got, man. I'm going to wrap this thing up tonight. I will wrap this thing up tonight, and I think, listen, the Steelers don't have the most talented bunch. They definitely got to do that. And again, yeah, since the coach does say that, Mike Tomlin says they got to do a better job coaching. Okay, I'm going to say yes, you do, because you say it out your own mouth. But again, it is clear a lot of times it's the players. Speaking of which, really quick, extended family members, those who are in here tonight, Wave Dave, Debbie, Lanisha, C. Antoine Hill, Lyle McCombs, who will probably see this on the rebound, Sade, and if I missed anybody, my apologies. Please let me know really, really, really quick, what footage do you guys prefer to see in terms of all 22? Would you like to see some footage from the Titans game that I could show? Probably could get that video done tomorrow. Or would you rather wait to see some of the things from the Chiefs, which I probably won't get that footage. They've been late with the all 22. Normally it's Wednesday. Y'all tell me. Show me really, really quick. Give me just some quick thoughts, and that's what I'll show you guys this week. Why Dig as well is another one. So let me wait on that. While I'm waiting for you guys, I'm going to remind the rest of you, man, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. Why not? You ain't got nothing else to do, right? Okay. M. Marcus, I respect that. Again, I won't argue your opinion. Sade says last week. Wave Dave says Titans. Why Diggy says Titans. All right. Sounds like y'all want to see the Titans. All right, man, let's get out of here. Hope you guys have a lovely remainder of the week. Remainder. It's only Sunday, right? So I hope you guys have a great week. I will see you guys again on Tuesday. For you guys who are new here, Tuesday is when I will allow you guys to call and vent. Phone number is right there on the screen. It's in the description as well. That is the time for you guys to shine verbally. Terrible Towel Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I will see you guys on Tuesday. Enjoy the rest of your night. Get off to a good start this week. And for a lot of you guys, if you're like me, you got a 4-day week in terms of work. So let's just power through it. All right. Again, see you guys on Tuesday. Thanks for watching. God bless. Stay safe. And thank you for tuning in to the Terrible Towel post-game show. Peace.